In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to calculate a fairly simple amortization table, and it's labeled flat payment schedule or flat payment schedules on the top of the page here. And what this is going to give us is a loan that gives us a set payment every month. And we're going to use the payment function or the PMT function in Excel in order to do this. So what we're looking at here is a loan with a principal amount of $10,000. So the bank gave you $10,000. The interest rate is 7% annually. And so you're going to pay 7% of the outstanding principal at the beginning of each year, during the year. And your loan term is 6 years. So you're going to pay it off over 6 years. And your annual payment is $2,097.96. So let me go ahead and show you how to calculate this. In Excel, we're going to put in equals PMT. Open parentheses, the rate is going to be that interest rate. It's the periodic rate. In this case, because it is an annual payment, we're going to make one payment per year. And that payment will occur at the end of the year. The interest rate is just 7%. If it were a monthly payment, we would divide this by 12 to the 7% by 12 to get a periodic rate. But we'll go ahead and put a comma there. The number of periods is 6. That's the number of years or the number of payments. The present value is our $10,000. And in order to get a positive number for our annual payment, we're going to make this a negative number here. So I'm going to put in a negative sign. Select the loan payment of $10,000. The next item is the what the future value is. Since the future value is 0 at the end of the life of this loan, there's not going to be any value left, so we're going to put a 0 there. And then the type is also 0. The payments will be made at the end of every period rather than at the beginning of every period. So I'll close that in there. Their principal at the beginning of the year. So year one, our loan amount, our loan principal is going to be equal to our value in B2, our $10,000. The payment at the end of the year is going to be equal to our annual payment. So I'm going to set it equal to our value in B5, and I'm going to lock that in so we can drag that down. And now we're going to split our payment into interest payment and principal payment. And so our interest payment is going to be equal to our interest rate. And again, I'm going to lock this in because that cell reference is not going to change. And I'm going to multiply that by my principal at the beginning of the year. And so because it's 7%, it's $700 because our principal at the beginning of the year is $10,000. And then the return of principal is going to be the difference between our payment and our interest, the interest amount we're going to pay. So it's going to be, in this case, C10 minus D10. And so we're going to pay down our principal by $1,397.96 in this first year. So at the beginning of year 2, I'm going to set that value equal to the principal at the beginning of the year, the previous year, B10, minus the return of the principal in cell E10. So we begin our principal, we begin our year with a principal amount of $8,602.04. Our payment doesn't change. It's still $2,097.96. Our interest amount is going to change because the amount of principal at the beginning of the year is less, so our interest amount is going to be less. And it's fallen here to $602.14. And so our return of principal will increase for the year because we have more of a payment that's available to go towards principal because we're paying less interest. Once we have this second row I'll put in, I can highlight that. I can just drag it down here to the end. And we see here, and actually we're not going to have a payment at this point in time. I'm just going to delete that out because at the end of year 6, we've paid off our loan. And at the beginning of year 7, there's no principal left to pay back because we've set up our payments here to pay it out over 6 years. So this is a very brief explanation of how to create a loan amortization schedule. And please let me know if you have any questions about that.